This is Rat Pack Radio, the internet radio station that brings you everything from the top hits in music.
Hey guys, this is Bruno Mars.
To Sports Talk Radio.
With the first pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Jared Goff, quarterback, California.
We are here for you, WRPR Rat Pack Radio. Come join the pack. Download the WRP Rat Pack Radio app on Google Play, BlackBerry, and the Apple Store. If you're streaming, you can stream us on TuneIn.com, Web Radio Central, or RatPackSports.com/RatPackRadio. The Underground, discovering hidden talent worldwide. Playing daily on Rat Pack Radio, WRPR. Come join the pack.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to...
You're listening to the Rat Pack Sports Show live on Rat Pack Radio, WRPR.
It's new, it's fresh, it's a slam dunk!
You're listening to Rat Pack Sports Show on WRPR Rat Pack Radio.
Blue, you're my boy! A genius. A man who has a reputation to be the best at what he does.
You see, a man has to realize his limitations. You don't know me, and you don't know what I'm capable of.
That was a heck of an effort.
This house is a prison, and the galaxy of this sucks.
You're free enough. Battle is over when I say it is over. I will massacre you.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Are you not entertained?
I'd say in a given week, I probably only do about 15 minutes of real, actual work.
That's how I roll.
Hello? You play to win the game.
There's a drive. Way back. It could be.
This is my favorite part coming up right now.
All right. Rat Pack Sports Show. We are back. We are live Wednesday night. Rat Pack Radio, WRPR. Streaming online, RatPackSports.com. And also the Rat Pack Radio WRPR app. We're in the building for another week, bringing you the best is the sports talk and entertainment. It is Sunday night. It is NFL Sunday. And while most of the games today were kind of blowouts, especially in the 1 o'clock hour, a lot of two-score games, we still got a lot of entertainment. So we'll get into some NFL. We'll get into college because, like I said, man, because of Prime, I've been watching a little bit more college football at this point of the season than I would normally be watching. And I'm, trying to keep up with the progress of what's going on in Colorado. And, there's a lot of people out there. And I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to keep it real. Give me a second. I'm just going to keep it real. And I'm just gonna tell it like it is because this is what I'm seeing. There's a lot of, and I don't know why. I mean, I got an idea why. I'll get into it, but I got an idea why. There's so many people, watching Colorado. Some of them, a lot of people are, fans of Deion. Obviously, that's my era. I grew up watching Deion Sanders play football, one of the best to ever do it. Normally, you don't see somebody that was as good as he was transition after his career into coaching and actually do well. A lot of all-time greats aren't really good coaches, but Deion is. He's been coaching really all his life. A lot of his coaching is done behind the scenes. He didn't really talk about it, but he's been coaching his son since they was little. So he has his experience coaching. He started at the little league level, probably done high school for a little bit. Obviously Jackson State did his time there, and now he's, at Colorado, major, Division I school. But there's a lot of people that are fans of primetime. I mean, who if you watch primetime in his career, who wouldn't be a fan of this guy? I mean, it's primetime. So there's a lot of people, rooting for primetime because they've been, fans of him their whole life, watching him play the game of football. Then you got people who just, for some odd reason, just hating, like just flat out hating. And I don't understand it because I've listened to a lot of, Deion Sanders interviews and hear him speak. And a lot of everything he says is about him. It's about his team and his coaches. He don't go out of his way to trash talk about any other program, about any particular, team, any particular coach or anything like that. It's all about what he's doing at, the programs that he is at and helping, the kids getting the best out of, what they can do. And as a coach, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to coach kids to play to they potential. And then, sometimes you can get them to play above their potential. Because the players, they trust you, they know you got their back, and they know you mean what you say. You say one thing in front of them and then get behind them and do another one. So, them players play hard for them. So you got people out there that's really like rooting. They waiting for, Colorado to fail. They waiting for, Deion Sanders to be embarrassed in the game. They've been waiting for this Oregon game. They won the first game. TCU not that good, even though at the time they was ranked. I was all of a sudden TCU not that good. You know what I'm saying? They won the second game. It's just Nebraska. It's just Nebraska. They not that good. But before the Nebraska game, everybody was saying, this week he got a chance to see a real team in Nebraska. And then when they blew them out, now Nebraska not no good. Then the next week, rivalry game against, Colorado State. And they come out, they win that game in overtime. So then it was okay. Well, Oregon, this is going to be the true test to see, if the hype is real. Anybody that watched Colorado from week 1 to week 3 knew the defense was suspect. Even if Hunter was out there on the field, they can't stop the pass. They can't generate a pass rush. They're a smaller defensive line. Them boys leaning on them. It's hard. It's hard for them. So anybody that had any football sense knew that this Oregon game was going to be a disaster. It wasn't going to be close. So Oregon is well established. They're one of the elite programs in all of college, football. And they always had a high-powered offense. And so far this season, they're averaging like 50, 58, something like that per game, which is ridiculous. So for a team that struggled on defense, even with Hunter, they struggled stopping the pass. They struggled stopping the run. And you playing the number one of the top offenses in all of college football, and you got an undersized defensive line. What you thought was going to happen? So now, since they done lost this game, they got exposed. How? How did they get exposed when all of their deficiencies was things that we seen from week 1, week 2, and week 3? Explain to me how they got exposed. No, they got beat by a superior team. I mean, if you guys been listening to the show, we've been talking about Colorado for a little minute now. And I'm on record to say 6-7 wins. They will struggle against the better teams. They'll beat the teams that they match up with more, evenly. So remember, they only won one game last season. They only won one game last season. They already got 3. So they're 2 games better than last season, and they still got about seven games left in the season. So they're already improved. He's doing his job. They're already improved. If they become bowl eligible and they make a bowl in the first year of a new coach, that's even better. But there's nobody here that has any football knowledge that was sitting here saying Colorado gonna make the college football playoffs this year, or they're gonna win the Big 12. I ain't hear nobody saying that. Everybody that I know or listen to, they say give them 3 years. 3 years to get the players he want, build a team the way he want, and they'll be in the conversation as a, playoff contender. But there's a lot of people that's hating, and some of them hating because the way he used the portal, he went out and pretty much, got rid of every player from last season's team and brought in his guys. And normally you wouldn't have that happen, but you got the transfer portal. So did he do anything illegal? Every coach in the country got access to the transfer portal, and they can use it at their free will. So he didn't do anything illegal that's going to jeopardize his coaching career or get the, school itself into trouble. But again, they won one game last season. And I remember when he first got there, I listened to the interview. He said he was going to train them guys to the point where they going to want to quit. If you make it through, spring, and you make it through, summer, fall conditioning, you got a spot on this team. Now, he was going to test their will to see how much they wanted it. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of kids. Football, you talk 80-something kids, 70-something kids on the roster. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of turnover. But that makes it even more, even better that with all that turnover, they were still able to get together and play some really good football already this early. Bring some stuff together. And yes, Sanders is showing that he's a pretty good quarterback. So it helps when you got a good quarterback. That's anywhere. You know, any level, you got a quarterback that can distribute, you got a chance. Last game, Sanders wasn't able to distribute because up front they got the crap beat out of them. They got physically dominated. The man didn't have time to set his feet sometimes and make a throw. And again, that's gonna happen. When you get dominated up front, that's gonna happen. So this week, I think, let's see. This week, they play. Shoot, who is it? Colorado. I just saw it. Let's see. Standings, rankings. And one thing for these rankings, man. The hype is all created by, the media, sports media. I didn't feel for 1 second that Colorado, after winning one game, deserved to be ranked. And I've said this already. So they kind of fueled this whole hype train and set, Colorado up for all this, because there's no way you should even touch the rankings this early in the season when you only won one game last season. Before the season, when last season ended, the final rankings, you probably was sitting down in the bottom 70 or 80, teams in the country. Probably even lower than that with one win. So how do you come out of the season? You play TCU, and I think it was either the next week they played Nebraska, or after the Nebraska game, you jump into the top 25. Bro, no. And I even said that at the time. They should not be ranked. Because you got all these other teams that's more established, that's, had consistently good teams over the years that was in front of them. So you trying to tell me they jumped all them teams? No. They wanted to push Colorado up as fast as they could, to create the hype train, and then set them up for a downfall later on. But they should have never been ranked. They should have never been ranked. That's my stance, and I'll continue to say that they should have never been ranked. They have to, go through the ringer just like everybody else. Earn where you at. And I don't feel like they earned the ranking of where they are. So, TCU, I mean, they still ranked, at the time they were ranked 17. I don't think they're ranked anymore. But, TCU ranked 17th. Oregon was 10th. Nebraska, Colorado State. Those are all good matchups for them. USC, this is probably going to be another beatdown. Hopefully they keep it closer than 42-6, but it's probably going to be a double-digit defeat. You know, we'll see. We'll see. But I'm not banking on them beating USC. But if they compete, they go out there and play hard, it's all part of the rebranding, rebuilding process that Colorado, is gonna go through, under Deion. He'll have them ready to play, but sometimes you just outmatch. If you can't win the battle up front, you just outmatch. That's just it. You can't win the battle up front, you outmatch. Arizona State probably be a good matchup. So if they could come out of there with a win, you're talking at 4-2. Stanford, another suitable opponent that they may be able to get another win. So if they could get that win, then you're sitting at 5-3. UCLA is going to be tough. Oregon State, probably another tough game. 18th ranked Oregon State. Arizona could be a tough game, but it might be a better matchup for them. Washington State, Utah. So if you look at the season right now, they're going to let's see, Arizona State, let's put a W by there. Stanford, let's put a win there. So that's 5 wins. UCLA, winnable. Arizona, Washington State, Utah. These last 3 games going to be tough. So I said 7 wins at most. At most this season, I said 7 wins for Colorado. So if they sitting around like 4, 5, 6, that'll make them bowl eligible, and that's a successful season as a first-year coach. You come from 1 win to being in a bowl game. Everywhere else, that's successful. But right now, to everybody else, the people that's hating, they're gonna look at that and say, "Oh, they only got 6, 7 wins. Oh, the hype train. No, the hype train was created by the media, the sports media. But the people that's, people like myself and everybody else, they're just rooting for Deion to be successful. Because a lot of us follow him throughout his career. They followed him throughout Jackson State, and they want to see if he can be as successful with Colorado as he was with Jackson State. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to see a guy do well. Yeah, but just because people want to see him do well, you say, "Oh, you caught up into the hype train." What hype train? I ain't predict them to win anything. I didn't say they was going to win the Pac-12. I didn't say they was going to, make the college football playoff. I didn't predict them to go win a national championship. I didn't do none of that. So what's the hype? I say, 7 wins max. What's hype? What's hype behind that? There's not a whole lot of hype behind that. So I just feel like, because of the attention, obviously, Colorado getting, why not? Alabama win games, but why do they get most of their attention? Nick Saban. When you look at good teams all around, college football, a lot of them teams coverage is led by the coaches. Nick Saban, Colorado. I'm about to say Chip Kelly, not Chip Kelly. What's the Brian Kelly? Every team he's been at, as a head coach, he's been the center of attention. Back in the days, Florida State, Bobby Bowden, Nebraska, Tom Osborne. Duke, Krzyzewski, Syracuse, Boeheim. I could go on. On and on and on. Stoops, University of Oklahoma, Dabo Swinney, Clemson. I mean, any great team is led, or good or great team is led by the head coach. Miami Hurricanes back in the days. Dennis Erickson. I mean, Florida Gators, Steve Spurrier, University of Georgia. I can't remember. Was Mark? Is it Mark? No, I don't think he's there anymore. Not Mark Rick. With a coach from Georgia. I mean, that's just the way it is. So if you got a good team, odds are you got a great leader, and that's leading the group. And that's all it is. Deion is getting the same type of attention everybody else getting. The only difference is Deion is, he's more outspoken. He's more media coverage. Where a lot of coaches aren't. They rather not say as much and don't garner as much attention. But it's prime time, man. We know what we gonna get out of Deion Sanders. He's been in front of the cameras, his whole career, and he's not shy in front of the cameras. But to sit and say, or to hate and say this guy's not doing a good job, with that group, that's just straight up hating. I want to see any one of them that's saying that, bring a whole new team, out of 90 players, you got 80 plus brand new fresh faces, get them ready in 6 to 9 months and be able to come out and play, productive football. That's a credit to him, his coaching staff, and everything they've been doing to get these boys to go out here and believe and play, productive football this early in the season, where we know in a sports standpoint, it takes time for teams to gel and come together when you change coaches like that. It's not easy. If it was that easy, every single super team that been created would win a championship. So my team is South Florida. And finally, after a whole bunch of years, I'm going to just say since Jim Leavitt, because that's the last time USF really had a good, respectable program, it's looking like, we got a decent team this year. We barely beat, we nearly beat, Alabama in a close game that actually they had a good chance of winning. So we're second in the conference at 2-1, and so far we've scored 38 versus FAMU, 3 points versus Alabama, 17-3. But that score was really a lot closer than that if you watch the game. We put 42 up on Rice, so we're at 2-2 early on in the season. We got Navy next week. So that, it's looking like an improved team from over the last, I'm going to say 5, probably 10 years, man. It's been a struggle. It's been a struggle for South Florida. The thing I don't understand is, South Florida, you're in the state of Florida that, you got premium talent all over the state when it comes to this football. And your program can't get, any of these guys. Or even, you don't even have to get the best of the best. You can get second and third tier guys that's going to come in and give you some really good, production. So I just don't feel like over the years they've done a good enough job, recruiting the homegrown talent, or maybe the homegrown talent just didn't want to play for them because it was so dysfunctional, over there, and going through so many coaches don't make anybody feel secure to, accept go and play over there. Because if you're flipping coaches every year, every time you get a new coach, are you going to fit what that new coach want? Are you going to be his type of player? Then at that point, you're at risk of losing your scholarship because you don't fit what the new coaches want. So that instability could have a big reason to do with why, as a program, you struggle to bring in top talent, because they want to be, when they sign that letter of intent, they want to know that they're going to be there, long term. Not, the portal is there if they want to, transfer, throw themselves in the portal. But all in all, the majority of these kids, wherever they start, that's where they want to finish. So, that's all it is there. So we're, just going into a little detail here about, the situation, with Prime, Colorado, and my South Florida Bulls. But that's who I really root for. That's my team, and I'm not afraid to say it. Yeah, they've been terrible over the last few years, or a handful, 10, last decade. But that's my team. So good to see the things that is going in a positive direction for them. Now, as for Colorado, we'll see. I'm gonna continue to root for them because I want to see, as a coach myself, my enthusiasm for Colorado ain't really necessarily them winning and then losing. It's the what's the word I'm looking for? It's the attention to detail and the ability that Deion has to, reach and get through to all these kids, to believe in each other, believe in him, believe in his staff, everybody, buying in and going towards the same goal. So that's why I like to see him root, because we root for him, because that's what he did at Jackson State. And he turned them around real quick. He didn't get the championship that that he was hoping they would get, but you only can win the championship if you put yourselves in position to win the championship. And over the last few years, 2 years, I think both of those years they lost in the championship game. So, he got his chance to go, to the next level. And, as a coach, your heart can be in the right place. You can be doing everything right. You can want to, help all the kids you want. But if a better opportunity comes along, and I was on this tip at first because I felt like, Deion Sanders, for what he did, what he represented, what he was doing for Jackson State, I felt like he was better suited for HBCU school. But, knowing everything we do know now since he's left, and a lot of the things that he did, we've seen what happened with Ed Reed, when he was at Bethune-Cookman and all the stuff he had to go through in the short time that he was there. And he ended up either they got rid of him early on because Ed Reed and Deion, obviously they good friends, so they was talking back and forth while he was at Bethune, and Prime was just telling him what his situation was and what he had to go through. And then when he got to Bethune, they kind of put him through the same ringer. So he was calling it out, and then Bethune-Cookman ended up getting rid of him. Not even 2 months in to his coaching gig because Reed was calling him out on some stuff. So, you can try to do all you want, but when the situation ain't really set up for you to succeed, and you see that they're not really doing anything to further the sports programs, or the administration got some stuff going on that you don't necessarily like, you got to make a move. And that's basically what happened. But he did leave Jackson State in a better position than when he first got there. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. As a coach, you want to build a program into something better. And while he didn't finish the job of winning the championship, he left them in a better position than it was when they got there, I want to say that while he was there, he managed to get them a new stadium built, new stadium on campus that got approved. So, he felt like he not that he done all he could do, but I mean, he left him in a better position. And I don't know what Jackson State. Let's see where they at. 1A, or 1AA. I mean, so let's see what division would they be in. I mean, conference. Missouri Valley. Jackson State. Let's see. SWAC. Yeah. So they're in the SWAC. They're 3-2 this season. And they're still playing good football, competitive football. 37-7, South Carolina State, Florida A&M beat them 28-10. Southern University, they beat 27-14. Texas State, 77-34. That looked like the Dolphins game today. Bethune, they beat them. I got Alabama A&M next week. So, I mean, we'll see. But the last season, they lost in, where is it? 12-0. Where's the what was their record last season? 12-1. North Carolina Central. That's the bowl game they lost in. They didn't excuse me. They didn't win their conference. I know they didn't. But but they're undefeated. But I know they had a conference title game that I thought they lost in. Let me check something real quick. Let's see, Jackson. Let's see. So, let me make sure I got this right. So Jackson State, let's see. 1AA. Okay, so yeah, they did win the conference championship. They just lost their bowl game. And that would have been big time if they'd have won that bowl game last year. But yeah, 21-22. So those the years under Dion that they won the conference championship. 11-2 in 2021. In 2022, 12-1. Yeah, so they did win 27-10, 43-24. So I must have got it wrong here. They lost both of their bowl games. South Carolina State 21 and North Carolina Central last year's Celebration Bowl. So I think that's the yeah. So yeah, I mean, but that's success. I mean, he was only there 2 years, but before he got there, he was 27-6 in those 2 years, and before then, it's been since about 2006 through 2013. So since 2013, they've been terrible. So 16-11, 2014 through 2015, 9-20, 2016 to 2018, and then 2018 to 2020, 6-9. So they hadn't had a winning season since 2013. And I think 2013 was the last conference title they won before then. And the only reason they won the championship in 2013 was because Southern University had all them wins vacated because they got caught up in some violations. And the game that they lost, the championship game that they lost, they got recorded, they got given the win for it. So they ended up winning a conference that year. But, before he got there, I mean, there was a bad team. That's why he ended up being the coach. So I'm going to keep rooting for the man. I mean, I just want to see, good coaches do well. And I feel like he's he's a really good coach. So what am I looking at? Yeah, I feel like he's a really good coach. That's just what it is. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we'll jump into some NFL because I want to talk about why we just seen the NFL team, that looks like a track and field team on the field, and we've seen an NFL team gives up 70 points, which that's a college football score. We usually see that in college. In my lifetime, I've never seen 70 points scored in the NFL game. It's happened before in the 60s, but I wasn't alive in the 60s. So we just witnessed something that basically a first time in our sports lifetime watching football, and we're going to get into it when we come back from this break. So with that being said, we will be hold on. We will be back after this break. You listen to the Rat Pack Sports Show.